welcome, Ruth, to the Martin Talk Show. We're here today to talk about your show, The Beauty of Being Heard, which is your tour is about to hit Manchester at the Women in Comedy Festival. So hello, Ruth. Good morning. How are you today?
I'm really good, thank you. How are you?
Doing good. Yeah, doing good. We're up on a Sunday morning for this conversation to find out about your show. So yeah, tell me a little bit about your show that you're taking on this tour.
So it's a one-woman show. It's an hour long, slightly less, which is always good. When I look at the duration of a theatre show, sometimes I'm like, ugh. So yeah,
I completely get that. I love that you understand that time thing, because I saw something recently that was an amateur dramatics piece, and it went on for 2.5 hours, and it just felt that little bit too long. Like there was good stuff in there,
yeah,
but it was kind of just pushing my attention span just that little bit too much.
yeah, yeah. Well, it has been longer and it's been cut down, and it's not even really lost anything on the way. So it's possible to edit those pieces. But what the show is, it's just me. It's a character comedy piece. It's got original songs. It's got some elements of clowning. It's got a homemade sheep costume, and it's about a woman who's decided to go and live as a sheep.
Okay. So a lot to unpack there then. I think
Yeah.
I just want to go straight in at the deep end. A woman that wants to live as a sheep.
Yeah.
Where did that idea come from?
Um, so many different places. So I went to circus school years ago in Bristol, and we had to do this spring project. And I ended up doing a piece about magpies, and I made like a DIY magpie costume, and it went quite well. But I kind of didn't, I lost my confidence about making work because it's really scary. It's quite vulnerable making your own
Mhm.
stuff. It's a lot easier just to do someone else's words. So I didn't do anything else for a long time, like years. And when I realised it was time, I thought, well, I've done magpies. What other animal can I do? What do I see a lot of in Yorkshire? Sheep. So I just went and bought some bits to make a sheep costume, and then it just sat in the airing cupboard for years. And then I just started doing something with it eventually.
Wonderful. So how do you know when it's time? Because I completely understand and resonate with that thing of feeling vulnerable sharing your own work. And when you've got these creative ideas, how do we know that we're ready to share?
Well, you're never ready. You just have to get yourself a deadline.
Hmm.
The magpie piece was only because we had a spring project, and it was getting closer and closer, and I still hadn't worked on it. And one Sunday morning, when no one really used to go into circus school, I got two of my friends to come in and just see my little idea. And we got all these crash mats around just in case somebody else came into the room, even though nobody else was going to, because it was Sunday morning. And I was so scared about sharing that I just like, I had to make sure that nobody else saw. And then once I'd kind of shared it with them, I was like, okay, there's a little bit of something. And I just had to do it because we had a deadline. So I would say you're never really ready. You just have to get yourself a deadline, and then you become ready.
That's one of the things I love about theatre is the deadline, that you work towards something, and there's that old saying, the show must go on. And it reminds me of a piece of theatre that I did a few years ago. I did a community theatre piece, Lion Witch and the Wardrobe. I tried to do quite a big production with puppets involved as well. And as it was getting closer to the deadline, there was a few people that said to me, "I don't think we're ready for this." But for me, people have bought tickets. There's going to be this thing that you put the thing out there that it's going to happen. And for me, it has to happen.
Yeah. Yeah, you're never ready, and on you
Mm.
go. So, and then I got some Arts Council funding,
Hmm.
the DYCP grants, Develop Your Creative Practice. So I was able to spend time in a space with like someone to help me with all my ideas because I had lots of different ideas, and she helped me bring them all together, Georgia Murphy. And then I got a residency in Swansea with Volcano Theatre. So it was a 2 week residency, and you had like 4 performances at the end. So then I was like, okay, that's it now. I've got to do it because I've got these performances. Members of the public are coming that I don't even know.
Yes.
So yeah, that's what made me do it, is that residency, really.
I think often as creatives, we're striving for that perfection, aren't we? We're striving for the perfect piece, and if we don't have the deadline, we'll be in search of that forever, won't we?
Yeah, because I'm still working on it.
Yes.
Like, I had a
Yes.
phone call with my director the other day,
Mhm.
and she was like, "You need to stop rewriting it now, Ruth. You've got
Mhm.
to," because that's the problem when it's your own writing. It's always like, "Oh, I could tweak here, I could tweak there," but if someone had handed me the script, I would just be looking at it as an actor and just like,
Mm.
how can I get the most out of it? So it's time now for me to like, okay, sure, there's always going to be little things I can do, but it's just look at it as an actor now, really like get into it. What's the writer trying to say here? How can I do it in the best way?
Yes. So how do you separate yourself as writer and performance? How do you put those two things into two separate places?
Yeah, if you find out, let me know. I don't know. I've done so much editing because
Mhm.
I definitely have some perfectionism in me. So some of the scenes have been totally rewritten, like people that have seen it before. Obviously, like the the general like lay of it is the same. She's going to live as a sheep. That's she's going. She goes to various parties during the party. The whole show is a party. But some of the scenes have been really, really rewritten, and it's better for it. But yeah, it's
Yeah, and I guess that's nice that you can do that, that you can be molding this thing into something. But is there a danger of over molding, of
yeah,
overshaping?
yes. It's my first show, so
Yeah.
I guess I'll learn a lot over the
Mm.
process, and then next time will be different.
Okay.
But yeah, yeah, you have to stop molding at some point
Mhm.
because the show is happening.
So, what are you enjoying most about doing this show? That's sharing your work. What is it that you enjoy most of that?
I love performing. I love um like not in touching people, like touching their hearts, like when they laugh or when they cry or when they come up afterwards and say, that, like, I haven't been able to put that into words, but I totally get that. It means a lot. I know it all sounds very vague because you don't really know anything about the character, but it's somebody who struggles to fit in,
Hmm.
um, and who finds social situations difficult and just doesn't really quite understand the rules, and struggles along and is tries to put on a brave front and is really positive. Like, she's so hopeful,
Mm.
but you see her struggle as well. But she does have knickers on her head through the whole of it. It's like,
Oh, okay. Like you're not taking this too seriously. It is a comedy.
no, she's serious about the knickers. She's taking it seriously.
She's taking it very
Yeah, she's
seriously.
taking it serious. She's very sincere and serious, but obviously it's ridiculous. But
Mm.
part of it isn't as well.
Mm.
Like when I did a performance like years ago for some young people in Manchester actually. And at the end I kind of, because it was still, I was still really rewriting it, so I'd kind of, I sometimes I can spend too much time on the rewriting and not enough time on the learning. So I got in there, I kind of lost my place a little bit towards the end. And before I even sort of gave the invitation to come and be a sheep with me, like one of the girls on the front row was like, I want to come too. So it's just like, it does speak to people, although, yeah, of course, it's ridiculous. And they are knickers.
I wonder if there's something in that story of yourself. Is there anything that you've taken from you and merged into this story? Because that's something that it sounds like something that resonates with me. That not knowing how to always fit in. with everything and be part of the herd. Often I've felt like I'm looking at the herd of the world going by, and I'm like, where do I fit within that? And I've been watching for a long time, and I've tried to mold to be part of it, but then actually found for me personally it was better to stay separate.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think everyone actually feels like that, because you're only seeing what other people present. You're not seeing what other people are feeling when they go home and go, why did I say that? Like, what is wrong with me? Which we're all doing every night, like, lying in bed going, oh,
The cringe moments.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, there's definitely a lot of me in it. The character's not me. She's definitely different to me, but she is a lot of me as well. I don't really know anymore what's me and what's her. She's definitely nicer than me. Like I have a nastier side than she does.
What do you mean by that? What do you mean by she's nicer than you?
She's just she's more naive. I guess maybe it's me when I was like really, really young or something, but she sees the best in people, whereas I don't always see the best in people. Me, Ruth, the person.
Have you any idea why that is? Why you've stepped away from being so naive?
I think you have to.
Hmm.
You have to. You can't have a childlike innocence all through your life because life can be harsh. You get possibly taken advantage of or walked over. I definitely, in my younger years, like especially like in friendships and relationships with men, like I was more trusting than I maybe am now, and like got myself into some not very great situations. So yeah, I'm not as sweet as I used to be, and I'm okay with that. I think.
And for defense, for protection.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Is that sad? I just think life
No,
is
I think it
life can
sounds
be harsh.
yeah, it sounds important, and I resonate with that. That I've had these moments where actually when I started doing this, I started meeting so many good people that I forgot that there was some bad people out there. And I had a little wake up call recently to the bad people that they're there, and I was like, and I didn't go into a situation where if I wasn't being naive, I would have known that situation could have gone like that. But yeah, there is bad people out there as well. There is people out there that don't want the best for you and for others, that have their own selfish intentions, and to stay naive to that is potentially dangerous for us, isn't it?
Yeah. I don't know about the good and bad, how helpful that is. Like, I could
Okay.
beat myself up with that, like, really trying to be a good person. I'm like, oh, I'm a bad person. I think we all just can be, people can be unkind. And I mean, definitely out there on the internet, we're going into a different sort of chat there, aren't we? But like,
Yes.
it's a bit, but I think everyone's just really, they're just scared underneath. And it comes out in however it comes out.
Yeah, the fear is what drives that badness out of people, I
Yeah, I
guess.
think a lot. It's like I better do it before someone does it to me,
Mm,
and I think that's more on men in a way. Like
okay.
because women are allowed to be vulnerable, and men for such a long time have not been given the permission to be vulnerable. So actually, a lot of the time when I do the show, it's men that come up to me and
Hmm.
say, yeah. Because it's so rubbish that men aren't allowed to be vulnerable. I mean, I know we're moving, we're trying to move progressively, but yeah, it's tough. It's tough out there.
It is. It is. It
Yeah.
is hard out there. As a man, yeah, I will speak to that. I will speak to a moment that comes back to me now is on my wedding day when I got married, and I cried when I saw my daughter at 4 years old walk down the aisle first, and then my wife walked down, and yeah, it made me cry. It made me emotional. But a family member said to me the following day that I was an embarrassment for showing my emotions like that, and that hurt. That struck me.
But your
And
family member was embarrassed. That's what
mm,
happened. It's not
Yes.
that you were an embarrassment, it was that they were embarrassed.
Yes, and it took me a little while to realize that, but it also made me, as I started to share that story with some others, it started to bring out a deeper connection with others. That the importance of that I could feel those emotions,
Yeah.
that coming out of myself was actually important to share how I felt. And I continue to do that now. If I'm feeling emotional, I don't hold back now, because I appreciate how much it gives me and gives others.
Yeah, and maybe you gave permission to somebody else in the is the audience the right word?
I guess so,
What are
the
they called?
family or
Yeah.
yeah, or the
Somebody else.
community, whoever else is around within that space.
Yeah, so it's given permission to them, and whoever it was that said to you, "You're an embarrassment." Like maybe with time, they've started thinking about, was it really an embarrassment? I don't know. Hopefully, it's
Mm,
given them permission to actually, it's fine. Look, still a man, still keeping on going. Maybe he's not an embarrassment. I hope
yes.
so.
Hmm. Yeah, and I hope maybe can be an example to that in some way by now being vulnerable, sharing that story.
Yeah,
The vulnerability is, I think, is key for those connections. And
yeah,
telling a story like you're telling, something that is quite important to you, is important for making those change for others.
yeah. I hope so. Quite often, people have said, "Oh, it's made me think about being kinder." After they see it, because like I do. I'm playing a character, but there's a huge vulnerability in the way that I present the character, and people in the audience have said that, and yeah, I think it just gets people thinking. I don't want to make you think it's all like really deep. Like it is also silly.
So let's go back to the comedy then. So
Yeah.
this is going to be at the Women in Comedy Festival in Manchester.
Yeah.
Tell me, I've not heard of this festival before. Tell me a little bit about what happens there, and why it goes on.
I think it started. I'm going to be wrong now. I should. I think it started in 2013, but it's just a place to like, what's the word? Highlight the talent, put a spotlight on talent that is maybe not recognized so much, but some really great people that are going to be there.
Hmm.
Nobody's coming to my head now apart from Laura Lex, but I know there's loads of really great performers there that I'm hopefully going to be able to go and see. I mean, I should have really researched this before
No, no,
talking
no,
to
no,
you
no. It's
today.
okay. I just want to know from you, from your
I'm
experience.
sure the person that's on after me is doing a stand-up show in a different language. Like it's really like it's
Experimental, it sounds.
yeah,
Hmm.
it's great. Like I'm really excited. There's like loads of really cool acts that are going to be there. I'm in Leeds, so sometimes it's hard to get over to Manchester,
Hmm.
just because it's the M62 or you're relying on trains. But
Yes.
yeah, there's some really great performers that are going to be there, and hopefully we'll get a chance to go and see some of them as well.
So tell me a little bit more about your hopes, then, your hopes and your dreams for as you go into the festival. What are you looking forward to?
It's always fun to do the show in a different place with a different audience. Like, the audience I had in York was very different to the audience that I had in Glasgow, was very different to the audience that I had in Brighton. And I did it 4 times in Brighton and Cardiff and London. Like, London surprised me. So it's just really fun to be like, oh, how are they going to be?
Hmm.
How are they going to, will they get involved? Like, what's it going to be like? Will I meet people afterwards? Like, are they going to join in with the singing? Like, I'm just always, it's just fun. Even if it doesn't land, it's memorable.
Hmm. So what kind of surprises do you have? You say London surprised you.
London
What?
hugely surprised me because I'm
What?
from Leeds, I'm
Hmm.
northern, everyone's very friendly here. Not everyone, that's such a not true at all. But, people will say hello to you on the street and stuff. So you have this idea that people in London, they don't look at you on the tube, that kind of thing. So I wasn't expecting it to be so warm, but it was at Camden People's Theatre, which is a great venue. And I sold the place out. So it was just like, and it's because it's raked seats. I don't know. It just like, they were so involved. Like, it was just absolutely beautiful. I was so touched, and I just wasn't expecting, because you just think, oh, London.
Mm,
Actually, London was one of my favourite shows.
really.
Yeah, but I've
Uh,
done Manchester before as well, and Manchester's been really fun. We'll see.
So yeah, that London thing of the disconnect that happens there. I find as I go more north, there is more connection with people, and people seem to be more friendly, and you get more of that kind of eye contact and hello. Whereas you're right, when you're in London, you're on the tube, everyone's looking down at their feet or at their phone, and we're all there's so many people, but we're all so alone.
Yeah, but because there's so many people, you can't say hello to everyone, can you?
No, of course,
So
of
it's
course.
like, but do you know what? Every time I go to London, I'm like, oh, it's not always like that. You know, people do say hello. So I think maybe part of it, you know, you go looking for it and you're going to find it. I've found, yeah, London always surprises me. I always come back going, oh, it's better than I think. So it's probably just in my head that it's London's heart.
It's probably the commute is harsh, but when you find the community, when you find the spaces, that's where the people are. That's
Yeah.
where the connections can
Yeah,
be.
and people are people, aren't they?
Of course, yes, yeah. So then, past this festival, what's next for you then? What does the future look like?
I am hoping to get some funding to tour the show again next year and work on like a workshop offering to go alongside the show, like something in creative self-expression. And yeah, hopefully tour the show more, possibly get a new costume,
Hmm.
although that would probably be controversial to people that have seen the show because the costume's a big part of it. But yeah, I'm open to seeing what happens and then make a new show as well. It's been like 3 years that I've been with this show, has it? 2.5 years.
It's been a while
Yeah, it's been a while.
that you're starting to get that need to move on to something else.
Well, I'm starting to be scared that I've forgotten how to write things.
Hmm.
So I think I need to just do it just to remind myself. I've got a few ideas.
That being scared is quite a good thing, actually. That's quite a good place to be to help you recognise that yes, I don't want to get stuck here. I don't want to get too comfortable within
Yeah.
this space. There is more that Ruth can offer from here within the creative space, and
Yeah.
so to find that, we must move on to something new, I guess.
I know, but I really like this show.
Well, that's good. That's good. You can still continue to do this at the same time in
Yeah, it's
some
true.
respect.
It's always going to be up my sleeve.
Yes.
That is true. Yeah.
That's again one of the things I love about theatre is you can put a pin in stuff for a while. You can be like, right, I'm that is on pause. I will come back to that. I very much feel like theatre is that for me. I've had a life in theatre, 20 years of doing producing, directing and acting. But right now I've gone, no, that's all on pause while I'm doing this thing, this creative thing. And maybe in 5, 10 years time I might go back to it. I can go back to it if I want to because it's still and always will be part of me once you have it.
Yeah. I mean, I stopped acting when I was like 16 and didn't come back to it till I was 30. So
Mhm.
it's, yeah, it's
It can be
definitely,
part. I think it can be part of your life. I've seen people come into acting in their 70s.
yeah, I love it. I
Yeah,
love it.
it can come in and it can come in or out at any point, and you can put it on pause if you want to while you pursue other creative things.
Yeah, it's not like science.
No, it's not like science.
Like I was really into maths, I did A
Yes.
level in maths and I did consider doing it
Hmm.
at university and then that didn't happen. But I feel like to go back to maths now I'd have to go probably back to like SATs, let
Mm.
alone like GCSE or A level. It would be hard. Whereas acting is just sort of like you just bring yourself really with acting.
Uh, Well, I think you've just answered my next question. Why does it stay with us then? Why does it, is it something that we can dip in and out of and come back to when we want to?
Yeah, because it's not like, I had all the stuff written on the toilet when I was a kid, like sine, cosine, tangent, whatever. I can't even remember what they all were.
Hmm.
So it's like you need to remember all the um
The equations
yeah,
and
that's the word, equation, thank you. Whereas like this is just, you bring yourself, as long as you can listen, and you can connect with yourself and your emotions, and you can be real and respond to, whoever you're working with and to the audience, then obviously, it's good to brush up on it. But yeah, you're just bringing yourself. You're not bringing like equations. Or maybe you are. Maybe it's a bit.
Maybe I'm going to go deep here. Maybe the equations of life. And
Yeah,
if you can mix all of that up, and I think we touched on it at the beginning of this conversation, the vulnerability thing. If you're prepared to be vulnerable, that's where the magic starts to happen.
I think big time. But also, it is listening. Listening's a big part of it. When I was at theatre school, which was in France, like, with a guy called Philippe Gollier, who's quite famous within the clown world. His style of teaching is he sits there with his little drum, and that if you're boring, he bangs the drum and he's like, "Is she awful?" No, and then he goes through the audience, which is your friends, and he says, "Did we hate her? Was she awful?" Like, if you had to choose one of these two people, if like the Gestapo came in now and said, choose one of these two people on the stage, who would you choose? And when you're the rubbish one, your friend, your dear friend, like, they'll say you because you were boring or you were rubbish. So you really have to like think about the audience. And that's what I took away from the 2 years of suffering with Philippe Gollier, was like, I think that's what's really changed in my performance. And it's not to do with equations or whatever. It's just a sort of a listening and responding then.
That's interesting, listening and responding, and being considerate of your audience. Because something that helped me when I started podcasting, when I started doing this was, at the time I discovered a book called The Creative Act by Rick Rubin.
Okay.
And one of the first, like, goes through these rules of the best way to be creative. And one of the first rules was the audience comes last. And when I started this, I really liked that I forgot about the audience, that I didn't look at the numbers, because everyone's wrapped up in the numbers these days. I just ignored that. That's over there. That's not almost non-existent. Whereas now I'm starting to be like, oh, yes, we need to reintroduce you now, because I need you. I need to listen to you. I need to feel you in order to grow at this point. How do you listen to the audience then?
Well, when it's slightly lit, you can see in their eyes, who's engaged, who's not. You can obviously, like, you have to be careful, because you can really focus on the one person that's falling asleep, which I've had in my show. Or you can focus on the one person who's walked out, which I had when I did a piece a few years ago. And notice that, but also notice everything else as well. So yeah, you just notice, like, are they engaged or are they not engaged? Are they like looking at something else, or are they with you? But also, you have to be careful with that. Because when I had the person walk out, this is doing a duologue with somebody else as part of Fight Like a Girl, which is a fundraiser for cancer support in Manchester. It was a really, really great night, actually, of lots of new writing. And we were doing our piece, and somebody walked out, and the other actor I was working alongside afterwards, he was like, "What was that about?" I was like, "Look, you just never know. You never know." And then right at the end of the night, somebody came up to me and said, "I loved your piece. It was one of our favourite pieces." My friend had to walk out because she was getting a coughing fit, but she was really sad to miss it. And I was like, okay, I'm so glad I stayed till the end. And she told me that, because you just never know. So
When you put your twist on that take, it's not always going to be correct, is it?
yeah, yeah. So obviously listen, but don't. Yeah, it just be, yeah, I don't know. I'm sort of saying listen, but don't listen at the same time. But like, notice they've gone, but then everyone else is here. I'm here for you. And maybe it's not going to be for everyone anyway. I feel like I'm not giving a clear answer here.
No, you are. I'm thinking about those times when I was young and there'd be a birthday party, and I would think about who didn't come to the birthday party, more than who did come to the birthday party. You know, you'd be like, oh, my friend Jamie, he didn't turn up, but then there's 10 other people here that did turn up that I should be having fun with.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like acknowledge that thing that happened, but don't get weighed down by it, and enjoy the fun of the ones that are here, the audience
Yeah.
that is here.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then there's the negativity thing as well. Coming back to the podcasting, occasionally when I've done this, I've had some bad things said in the comments, and those can be quite weighty. When someone puts a comment like, "Oh, he's an ugly old git," that's speaking on there, and you're like, "Oh, thanks for that." But then you like, that's just one comment, and then I forget the 50 positive other things that people
Oh,
have
so
said,
easy to do.
you know.
So easy. Someone sent me an article about my show when it was in Brighton,
Mhm.
and they said, "Oh, this is the article that made me want to come." I was like, "Oh, great." And then I looked, and in the comments, someone had written something like, "Oh, a show about becoming a sheep. You know, what's the world coming to?" kind of thing. And I was a bit like, "Oh, why would he say that?" And then I was thinking, "Hang on, what's fiction? Look at fiction
Mm.
through the times, like go back, like Shakespeare, even before that, fiction is ridiculous. People become sheep. Like that's been in the Greek mythology, it's there. So like it's just a bit sad that this person thinks there maybe was a time when all theatre was about was just boring actual life.
Mm.
That's so sad.
And I guess what you're highlighting there as well is that often these negative comments come from a place of someone who's uneducated, someone that's unaware of how the world is or how the arts are.
Someone that like unfortunately isn't in touch with possibly, yeah, like the person who said how embarrassing. Someone that feels embarrassed, someone that isn't okay with looking a bit ridiculous. That's a shame, I think. If you're going
Yeah.
through your life and you just want to be taken seriously and want everything to be serious, that's a bit of a shame. Oh,
Yeah.
if
That's
everyone
a
has to look beautiful, someone's not allowed to have a face like their face.
yeah.
What a shame.
Hmm.
Takes all
Yeah.
sorts.
What a wonderful way to look at it. And I guess as well that when we create art, it isn't going to be for everyone.
I was thinking about that because I was like thinking about making a children's show, and then children's shows are just put into children's show category,
Yes.
But I know quite a few children and they are very, very different.
Hmm.
So one child might really like this show that's got a really scary element. They might really love it. I had a friend, my friend's daughter, she used to love these stories that I would tell her about like doing terrible things. And she would be like, and then what happened? And then what happened?
Yeah.
And I started telling a similar sort of story to her sister, and her sister was like, It's
Mm.
like, okay, she likes the happy, happy ones, So
Yes.
no, it's not for everyone. Not everyone is going to be okay with knickers on the head because
No.
things they want real life. Okay, fine. Don't best not to come to my show then.
Yeah, and I think that when we're doing this creative stuff, we put it out there into the world, we create it, and then that finds the audience. That maybe it's not up to us to, especially when we're in the early days of coming up with this idea, like who is it for? That's where I think that message of the audience comes last, works. That that you do the thing, you make the thing, and then the audience will find it.
Yeah, yeah. I did the show in Brighton. I said I did it 4 times, and someone came back, and he came back, and he'd got um, his own sheep ears, and his wife had crocheted these sheep ears for him after coming to see it the first time. So it spoke to him
Mm.
so much that he was committed. He's back, he's there, he's got the sheep ears on. I wish I'd got a photo of me and him. I was just like so touched.
It was for him. The show was for him.
He's my
He was your
people.
he's your
Yeah,
people. He's part of your herd.
yeah.
That's wonderful. That's amazing. And I bet there was no point in your creation of this you thought you would meet someone like that.
He wasn't like because I don't know. I don't really think when I'm making it about who is this for, because it really doesn't feel that helpful.
Yes.
But I suppose maybe some people do. If there's a lot of money involved, they do have to think that right from the start. But you know, if you do a vision board and you draw your ideal person, it wouldn't have been him because I didn't know him. And I don't know, you know, do you know what I mean? But
Yes, of
I'm
course.
so happy that he found it and that he's like my people.
Wonderful. But there's something you mentioned there, the money. That's what I wanted to come back to. You mentioned earlier on about the grant that's helped you along the way.
Mm.
Now, I wanted to talk about that, how that has helped you progress your art, because there are some people that believe that having the grant for your art is very important in the progression of this, and some people feel like maybe the art shouldn't be funded as much as they are. How has it been beneficial to you, apart from helping pay the bills while you discover your creativity?
The grant, so DYCP, Develop Your
Hmm.
Creative Practice, is an amazing grant. And it's for anyone who wants to make a step change in their career.
Hmm.
So I wanted to go from being a writer to being, no, from being an actor to being a theatre maker, like a writer. So it was money to go and attend courses, to have time in a studio with somebody working on it. And
Hmm.
it paid me for my time to just do the writing. So that's how it was possible. I mean, the main part of that grant that helped me was the time with Georgia Murphy in the room where I brought in my ideas and she was like, right, let's put some structure into it because I really struggle with structure. So yeah, that's where it really made a big difference. But I went on some amazing courses, met loads of great people, and was able to pay myself for my time as well.
Hmm. So it really helped with those building those connections and learning through those connections.
Yeah, but since that money's long gone,
No, of
so I've
course.
been
It's
unfunded.
almost like a seed fund in a way. It's to start the help start the growth.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, money is tricky in the arts, and
It
like
is.
this is why we've got it's really weighted for middle class and upper class people because how can you afford to do this? Like, you know, what I'm doing at the moment with my show, like all the promoting and the working on it that I'm doing, I'm not getting paid. So that's only possible because I don't have children, because I'm living somewhere really cheap. And, you know, because if I had a family, I I wouldn't be able to do this.
Hmm.
It's really difficult for people that don't have money behind them,
Hmm.
and because so much of the work that you're doing you're not getting paid for. That's the
I
thing.
think I think within the creative process, there's so much experiment that needs to happen and so much play to get to the final product. That takes time, that experimenting and
Yeah,
that
and that's
play.
work.
And that's work. That take
Yeah.
yeah. Mm, yeah.
Yeah, sure, it's fun work,
Yes.
but it's without that bit you can't get to the end bit. So
Hmm.
yeah, we've got a real crisis in our industry with like working class people leaving the industry or not being able to afford it, especially even just to get into it at the beginning. You're not making a living from it. So I think we need so much more support. There needs to be more money in there. Otherwise, you get what you get on the TV and what you get, you know, in the theatres and stuff is not representative of the people that are out there.
Yes. So what would you say to someone that held the purse strings, that was that person that could bridge the gap between the art that's just starting and the stuff that we all want to enjoy, the films that we see on TV, the books, the things that we see at the West End? What would you say to someone that could help move things along and help more new art come forward?
Well, that's the Arts Council.
Hmm.
So you put the bid in and you you say this is really going to change lives and this is how it's changed lives so far, and you get statistics actually. Like when I did my DYCP application, I looked up like statistics of, someone shared something recently actually of like how many of the lines are spoken by women, or how many female writers are out there, you know, making the big money, or the shows that are on in the theatre. And like, it's currently still very stacked against women. Like the number of lines spoken by women, especially older women in films, is like, it's minimal. I don't have the numbers to hand right now, but it's minimal compared to men. So I can't remember what your question was, but oh yeah, what do you say to the people? Yeah, it's good to just get some statistics,
Mhm.
which I don't have now, so it kind of like is a bit of a moot point. But
Well,
like, there's a lot of
I think,
statistics out there about working class people, or you know, people from various different backgrounds, that like, we need those voices out there.
mm, I think we've had it heavily weighted in one way for a long period of history. That there's been a dominant voice, the male voice, for a long period of time.
And it's
That
the privileged male, but it's not the
it,
working class male
no,
voice either.
it's the privileged males. Yes, yes. So it's the and so that's one voice that's been echoing the rest of society. Whereas we need to change that voice to be weighted in a different direction. So someone explained it to me the other day, like moving the scales. We need to shift the scales in a different direction so that we hear more truths in this world than just from one perspective.
Yeah, it's just to have lots of voices out there, that's all. Let let everyone speak, not just one person speak.
Yes. Well, thank you, Ruth, for today. Thank you for sharing. I really do appreciate it. I think we've been on a really good journey of discovery about your show and about the arts as well. So thank you so much. So if anyone has been watching or listening, where can they find out more about you and about your show?
My website is ruthberkoff.com. That's quite easy.
Yeah, nice,
Um,
easy to remember.
and then the Women in Comedy Festival website, which is womenincomedy.uk, has got the tickets.
Well, I'm going to be following your progress, and I'm not going to be able to make it to Manchester, but do keep me up to date with what you're doing next. And if there's an opportunity to see this show, I'm really looking forward to it.
Oh, it's been lovely talking with you, Martin.
It has, Ruth. Thank you so much for sharing. And if anyone has been watching or listening, we appreciate you for joining us for this conversation. Thank you. Thank you, Ruth. Bye-bye.